I may have personal gripes with the show. Everyone likes him in the role, and she's already won twice before. It's just how he's not really the main character. She'll be able to win for that. Hi, I'm Jake. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, where today we're continuing awards with the Emmys, TV, and FX's biggest night. I said FX's biggest night because that network is prepared to sweep a ton of awards, including the first one, Best Comedy Series, or Outstanding as the Emmys tend to call it. First up, we have The Bear, which is pretty much the guaranteed winner of this category. It won last year for season 1, it's up for season 2 right this year, it's swept through practically every award show, and dominated at the Creative Arts Emmys, only losing to the drama series Shogun, but it won Best Comedy Guest Actress for Jean Smart, it won for Jon Bernthal. The Bear is a guaranteed hit, and the cooking show is going to sweep another year in Outstanding Comedy Series when it's really not one. Hacks, Abbott Elementary, Only Murders in the Building all have hopes of trying to win, but any upset there is significantly unlikely. Hacks would most likely be second place, but they definitely underperformed at the Creative Arts Emmys, and even though they vote differently, it probably won't work. At the Emmys, instead of voting where every single person who's in the Television Academy votes for every category, instead they vote by branch. So producers vote for Best Series, actors vote for Best Actor, writers vote for Best Writing, etc. So you can sort of see that where different branches might favor different shows. But on a whole, when you're looking at program categories for Outstanding Comedy Series, The Bear has swept across all awards, different kinds of shows, different kinds of awards, cinematography, editing, casting. It's an undeniable force that is for sure sweeping this award. And the same thing is true for Best Comedy Actor. Jeremy Allen White has literally never lost a role as Carmy in The Bear, and even though I may have personal gripes with the show and it may not be my favorite, I still think he's definitely winning here. A lot of the other people in the category are sort of just happy to be there. Larry David, I don't think has ever won for Curb Your Enthusiasm. Martin Short and Steve Martin are good in Only Murders in the Building, but neither particularly are superseding each other, even though Steve Martin wasn't nominated last year. Martin Short could come out of nowhere if they really love him, but Jeremy Allen White is definitely taking this one. As Carmy, he's pretty amazing in his own right, and even though he barely has a joke, I think season 2 will carry him to his second Best Actor win. For Best Comedy Actress, this is a slightly closer category, but I think it's going to Jean Smart. This is for the 3rd season of Hacks, one of my favorite comedy series about a comedian in Las Vegas and her Gen Z co-writer. And as Deborah Vance, she has such screen power, such magnetism. She's playing a celebrity, getting to use all her different chops, getting to show who she is as an actress. And she's already won twice before for this role in season 1 and season 2. So there's no reason she's not going to carry this to a 3rd season win. The only person who could stop her would probably be Io Edbury, who award shows really like, and she won last year in the supporting category, but I don't know if she has enough to do in The Bear to justify winning in the lead category, especially over someone such as Jean Smart. It's also interesting because Quinta Brunson in Abbott Elementary has also won in this category, but she's never been able to beat Jean Smart head-to-head, so I think Jean will carry this one to her 3rd win for Hacks. For Comedy Supporting Actor, this is going to be one of the easiest sweeps of the night. Ebon Moss-Bachrach is going to win again for Comedy Supporting Actor for his episode that is universally acclaimed, Forks, when he gets to go work in fine dining and have significant character growth, singing Taylor Swift in the car. Everyone likes him in the role, even though if it's not my favorite show, I think from these actors, he pretty much stands out. I think Paul W. Downs on Hacks is really funny as Deborah's and Ava's agent character. He has a lot more to do this season and is really great and hasn't really had a chance to compete with Ebon anywhere. But Forks, the episode in which Ebon stars significantly, he's really great and really stands out, and I think he's easily going to take this one. For Supporting Actress, this is probably going to go to Hannah Einbinder for Hacks. This is a really tough category. We have people like Meryl Streep and Carol Burnett and Cheryl Lee Ralph, all amazing actresses who have won Emmys in their own right. And to predict that it's going to go to Hannah Einbinder, who's never won an award for this performance before, but I think this is the first chance she has to be awarded for season 3, and I think that Emmys are going to jump at it. She has this amazing moment in season 3. She has a lot of character growth. She has insane acting, and her line when she says, "You lied to me," it's just a really striking image in your mind. And not only that, she also put out a comedy special. She's on the come up. She was just in other stuff on HBO, and I think they're going to give this to her. if someone upsets, I think it would be Meryl Streep, who I think the Emmys would really like. She's in Only Murders in the Building, gets to play a love interest, gets to sing, gets to have a lot to do in her role. And I think they do like Meryl Streep, though I don't know if they're necessarily going to give it to her. I think Liza Colin-Zayas for The Bear could also win. She has a very interesting character, but this is technically for season 2, not season 3, based on eligibility periods. And for season 2, they're really pushing the episodes Forks and Fishes. And Liza, I don't think is in either of those episodes at all, so I think she might fall a bit by the wayside. She might be able to win next year for her episode, which people really liked from season 3, but because this is season 2, I don't think she might take it. Carol Burnett could come out of nowhere for Palm Royale. The actors did like that show, but I don't think it performed as well as it could have. And I think Cheryl Lee Ralph, who has already won for this role, is not necessarily going to take it. I think Abbott is not their favorite show right now. And even though I think she or Janelle winning would be amazing and I would love it, I don't think it's her time again to win. For comedy directing, I think this is easily going to The Bear. Fishes is one of the most memorable episodes of TV. I think it is undeniably the almost perfect episode, the best episode of The Bear by far, and I really am not even a fan of the show. The way Jamie Lee Curtis has so much screen presence, the way all the characters are interacting, the time limit, the clock, the stress of all the food, cooking, everything that happens is just insanely stressful, wonderful episode of TV, just like season 1, which also won comedy directing. I think this is definitely going to Christopher Storer, who's going to win another Emmy for The Bear. And even though Hacks may hope to take this, they won directing for season 1, but they didn't for season 2. And with that memorable of an episode for The Bear, I think it's going to take directing. For writing, I'm not predicting this to go to The Bear, and it feels really scary because Fishes is such a strong episode. I think voters for the Academy might just remember that and just vote for it across the board without sort of thinking how the directing might be a stronger aspect than the writing and is what gives it such power. I think the episodes in Hacks, Bulletproof, the last one, the finale, is such a game changer. There's so many twists in it. It's so dramatic and hilarious and engaging and one of the best episodes in Hacks. But I think it can take it. I think a lot of the frustration where people are arguing The Bear isn't a comedy, The Bear doesn't deserve to be in these categories, The Bear doesn't have that many jokes in it, I think the writers who are the ones voting for this, not anyone else in the Television Academy, are going to recognize that fact. You've seen people from the Abbott Elementary writing team, all these different writers who have come out and said, The Bear isn't a comedy, we shouldn't be competing against it, we're writing all these jokes, having a joke a page, a joke every 2 pages, and The Bear is rare on that front. I think Hacks could be able to take this based on the strength of the show, their like for it, and how it's actually a comedy and has significant humor in it, unlike The Bear. I think it'll go to Hacks for Bulletproof, but I'm really uncertain about this one. For drama categories, Shogun, the undeniable Japanese hit, I think is going to take this. It's made in America and by an American team and through FX, but the story in Japan about an Englishman arriving to counter the Portuguese in history. Hiroyuki Sanada playing the future shogun of Japan, but ultimately a story about translation and the difficulties of language and human connection in a place where language and culture stand at odds to each other. It's a really human story, a show I really loved, and I think this is going to take it. It just broke the Emmys record for 14 Emmy wins last weekend at the Creative Arts Emmys, and it's just going to continue that to the main ceremony. It's won, I think, the most Emmys for a season ever, just purely based on categories like costume design, makeup, prosthetic makeup, visual effects, stunts, editing, casting, all these things, and I think it's just going to carry that wave of energy through the main ceremony. None of the other series stand a great option. The Crown had its last season, and I do really like the show, but I don't think that season stands out as much as season 4 did, which was the only other one to win. I think Mr. and Mrs. Smith has some passion behind it, but I don't think that spy show is going to be able to take it all the way. And Slow Horses, a much more serious and darker spy show, which only broke through for the first time in its 3rd season, I don't think that will be able to take it. Shogun definitely has this category locked down. For drama actor, I think this is going to go to Hiroyuki Sanada, who's playing, like, the tertiary character in Shogun. I think one of my problems with predicting him in this category is just how he's not really the main character. He's sort of a side one who's been put in this leading category. I think Gary Oldman in Slow Horses is hilarious as Jackson Lamb. He's sort of this aging man who's very frustrated and curmudgeonly and sort of angry and feels like he projects that he doesn't care about the world but has a real soft heart and cares about the people around him in actuality. Slow Horses is a great show, and season 1 is just 6 one-hour episodes that are really tense and engaging and masterful in how they're directed, which you should definitely check out. I think Hiroyuki Sanada can win this, though, just because of the strength of his entire show coming in. Shogun getting all these nominations, winning the past weekend, though I do think Donald Glover could also win. He's in Mr. and Mrs. Smith. He plays Mr. Smith and is one of the spies who he's working with, Maya Erskine. I think people do like Donald Glover. He's won before in the comedy category for Atlanta. I think he does have a shot in this category and wouldn't be surprised if he won, but I think any of the top 3 could win, but Hiro might take it in the end due to his being like sort of the main focus in Shogun's campaign. For drama actress, I think this is going to go to Anna Sawai for Shogun. She plays the translator and is one of the 2 main characters. She sort of works as the intermediary between cultures. She's translating the Japanese to Portuguese in the midst between Catholicism and Protestantism. She's sort of the center and the heart of the story. She's the one who's driving a lot of the action and sort of building the connections between characters. She has a lot of bravery. She has moments of immense vulnerability. Even though this is like the first time she's been able to break onto a main industry scene and get these awards nominations and get this attention, I think she'll still be able to win. I think there's also not a clear second in the category. Jennifer Aniston was very well reviewed for season 1 of The Morning Show, but this is season 3, and I don't know if she'll be able to win for that. I do have her in second, though. Maya Erskine as Mrs. Smith in Mr. and Mrs. Smith, I think is also really good. I think she has a lot of humor and is a very interesting character, and I could see her winning, but I think Anna Sawai being in the best drama series show, in the one that's broken the record for the most Emmys already, and being one of the most prominent and central characters in the story, the one who the world sort of revolves around, I think is going to make her win this award. For drama supporting actor, one of the closer categories, I think this will... It's really hard to say. I think I'm going to predict it to go to Billy Crudup for The Morning Show. I think he and Tadanobu Asano in Shogun are the ones who it's down to. For Billy Crudup, the actors loved The Morning Show. They give it so many nominations. It had the most acting nominations, at least 3 in the supporting categories and 2 in drama actress. The actors really put their all behind it, giving it so many nominations, and I think Billy Crudup being one of the main characters and really standing out on that show could carry him to a win. He already won for season 1. He didn't win for season 2, but I think he could possibly for season 3. I think sometimes the Emmys don't necessarily go back to reward actors they've already avoided giving them the win to again, which is what benefits Tadanobu Asano. He's also one of the main people campaigning for Shogun. He's one of the main characters. He's a real central point, sort of like the Varys or Littlefinger of Game of Thrones, but in Shogun. And I think he could be really interesting, although I think this is his first time, but that won't stop Anna Sawai or Hiroyuki Sanada from winning. I think there's a really strong argument for either of them, but I think Billy Crudup, just having the magnetism he does on the show and sort of capturing the audience, I can see either of them winning, and I'm really tempted, like, any moment now to switch it to Tadanobu. I think both of them have a really strong chance. I think Billy Crudup might split votes with the other 2 morning show people in the category, but I think he's going to take it. I can sort of see it. I think the way he sort of connects with people, if I keep thinking about it, I'm going to switch it to Tadanobu Asano. I can definitely see either of them taking it, and then personally, I would prefer Tadanobu. His character of Yabushige is just fascinating. But I think I think I'm going to go with Tadanobu Asano. I can just see it in my mind. I don't think the Emmys are going to go back to someone like Billy Crudup. I've talked myself out of it. I think Tadanobu Asano is going to be able to get up there, and I think people are going to really like him. I think he's going to connect with people. I think he has a fascinating character, and I think he's going to be able to take it all the way, overcoming that language barrier. I can see Tadanobu winning. That's what I'm going to go with. For supporting actress, this is the easiest award in contrast to that. Princess Diana, played by Elizabeth Debicki, is just captured all these awards. She's won everything she's been nominated for this season. People love her as this character. Princess Diana, people love. It's this season where you see her death, you see the characters in her life moving on, you see her relationship with the Al Fayed family. And I think she's going to be able to take this all the way. I don't think there's any hesitation over it. I think Leslie Manville gives one of my favorite performances ever as Princess Margaret, but she's only in like one episode really where she's center stage, so she could end up taking it, but I actually don't see that happening. I think Elizabeth Debicki is winning this. You can bet your money on this. This is what's going to happen. I don't see a world in which she doesn't. I would be shocked. For drama directing, this is going to go to Shogun. Shogun has Crimson Sky, which is the penultimate episode in the season, where sort of everything's coming to a head. There's raids, there's like bombs going off, there's all this sort of stuff happening, and it's a really powerful moment, especially for Anna Sawai, who I think submitted this episode. It's the sort of climax of the entire series, and I think submitting it for directing, I think it's going to be able to take this award. I think Slow Horses or Mr. and Mrs. Smith could also take it. The Crown has a famous director who might be able to win, but I think those three shows are falling behind the series winner. The directors branch, who are the only ones voting on this, really like to fall in line with who wins Best Drama Series, and I think they're going to stick with directing. They're going to give it to Shogun, and I think Crimson Sky is going to win. But I don't think Crimson Sky is going to win in drama writing. This is a really difficult prediction to make, but I think Shogun is going to lose writing here. It has 2 nominations, Crimson Sky for a very good episode, and Anjin the Pilot, which was not as good of an episode. I didn't love Crimson Sky as much as every other person did, but I think Slow Horses is going to take drama writing here. The writer, Will Smith, not the actor, another Will Smith, I think is really well regarded in the industry, and I think the writers branch is often able to split apart from the rest of the television academy, so even if Shogun takes actor, actress, supporting actor, and directing series, I think writing might not follow. I think Slow Horses is really known for its writing. It's a very tight show. It's these spy stories, and I think it's really focused in what it does, and I think the writers will appreciate that. It's won like 2 USC Scripter Awards, which I don't know how that correlates at all, but the writers branch switched to Succession and awarded that before it was breaking on or getting any actors nominated or winning. I think they're going to give it to Slow Horses, and this is going to be one of the very few awards that Shogun doesn't end up walking away with. So we'll see how wrong I am after the Emmys, but I think this could be a pretty good set of nominations. Of the shows, I've seen The Crown, Shogun, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Slow Horses, The Morning Show, and then for comedy series, I've seen Hacks, Bear, Abbott Elementary, and Only Murders in the Building. In case that gives context to some of the awards I get right or wrong. I'm really excited. I mean, I would love if Leslie Manville pulled through, but I'm going to be really excited to see Anna Sawai winning, maybe Tadanobu Asano, and I think if something other than The Bear wins anywhere, such as Hacks and Actress, Supporting Actress, or Writing, that'll also make me really excited.